Today's episode is brought to you by La Bandera BTX, birria de res estilo Tijuana in Brownsville, Texas. Bring your favorite adult beverages to add to their delicious agua frescas, michelada mix, and other mocktails while enjoying the best quesabirria dishes in the Rio Grande Valley. Restaurant located on South Padre Island Highway and a food truck on West Elizabeth Street. Follow their social media at La Bandera BTX.
Welcome back to Paranormal 956. My name is David, and as always, I am here with Bianca.
Hi, guys.
So we've been talking about your classes, right? You're taking classes, and you had a recent topic.
So this one really got my attention. We were talking about brain injuries.
Mm-hmm.
There's like mild, severe, and moderate.
Right.
Concussions and all this stuff, right? And regardless of the situation that we're in, we basically have to be able to identify the signs for us to call it in and like be able to help people, or just understand the simple level of identifying this problem or this injury, right? So we can help on time or get whatever needs to be done. And they went over this topic and like how it affects people. Like sometimes it's like super bad, and sometimes it's like through their recovery process, they recover actually pretty good. And they have this new freaking ability of speaking a fluent, different foreign language. And it's like their IQ is over the fucking normal average.
Yeah, like it unlocks something.
Yeah, like something just clicks right in their brain, and it's like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is this? But, I mean, it got me thinking, right? It was fucking weird. So I was like, what the hell? So then I started thinking, like, hey, has David been fucking hiding this fucking ability or some shit?
Right. You were texting me, I think, while you were in class.
No, I wasn't.
Not during class.
Not during class. It was after class. Yeah. It was after 5.
You act like your teacher's a loyal listener.
You never know, man.
You never know.
I did tell him about the podcast, so.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I had to put it on the personal history.
Really?
I have to put my social media.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was basically forced.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. So, full disclosure, right? Part of this, we were in a major car accident not too long ago, and I suffered a brain injury. So that's what Bianca's talking about.
Yeah.
My x-ray is actually going to be the thumbnail of this episode.
Yeah.
So I don't have any superpowers that I have noticed to start, just to clear the air of that, right? In case anybody's wondering.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But one of the things, I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but.
Well, I didn't have any head injuries. What are you talking about?
Well, you were knocked out.
I knocked out, but I like gained consciousness like a few hours after. And
right. But what I mean
I was completely fine.
So this is what I have been told. So I don't remember. Not only do I not remember our accident.
I don't remember the accident either.
I don't remember several days later.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I was in the hospital for a long time. I don't even know how long I was in the hospital, but I was in the hospital.
I mean, at least a week.
I was in the hospital for a long time. I was in neuro ICU, and then I got transferred to ICU, and then I was on physical therapy.
Let's put it like a month.
I was in the hospital for a long time. I became friends with a lot of my nurses I'm still friends with to this day.
Right.
That's not the point of what I'm trying to get to. However, I don't remember a lot. One little weird twist in all of this story. I am now really good friends with the person that took my x-rays when I got to the hospital.
Right.
And so we have recently been talking about a different friend, a mutual friend of ours. This friend that I'm talking about now, I also play Pokemon with.
Right.
And so she has told me, and she was working, And what I have been told by police that were there, that after our car accident, I got out of the car and was fighting everybody. Right? You were knocked out.
Yeah.
And I was fighting everybody. And so, you know what intubation, right? I had the tube. They put the tube in me. They put a tube, the urethra tube. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
I ripped both of them out. So my voice is different. I know that. I don't know that that's a superpower.
But,
right?
But that's cause of the intubation. Yeah.
Well, I ripped it out.
Yeah.
Right. And so this friend of mine that I'm friends with now was my x-ray tech when I went into the hospital.
Happened, yeah.
And she said that they say everybody's a fight or flight person. She's like, you are 100% a fight. Like I was fighting everybody.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how, considering as how hurt I was, right? Because I have broken ribs,
the face,
broken face, broken head. My knee was busted.
Oh yeah.
All kinds. I was in a lot of hurt, and somehow I'm fighting people.
Still heavy on drugs though. Did they have you medicated? They pretty sure they had you like some type of sedation.
Fun fact. They put me on fentanyl while I was in the hospital.
Yeah, there you go.
So
that makes sense.
There's my superpower.
Adds up.
I can do narcotics.
There you go.
So, like I said, long story short, I don't have any superpower that I'm aware of.
Okay.
My voice is different. I can't use my tongue like I used to. My hand's still not right on my left side.
Okay.
Because my brain injury was on the right side.
Okay.
But we are going to go over first, I think, some of the things that we've learned about that other cases and kind of to give what could happen, right?
Right.
So the first one is a guy named Ben McMahon. This guy's Australian, and he had a brain injury, and he woke up speaking fluent Mandarin Chinese. Like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That seems strange. I have seen a video of a woman from like Ireland or something that also had a brain injury. And she woke up with an accent. Like out of nowhere.
Like that's the thing. An accent, I think from a brain injury, you can start manipulating it and like, I have an accent now. So I guess that is more believable. You're still talking your language, but with an accent because you can't speak it. Okay, right. But a fluent Mandarin?
Yeah, that's different.
Nah.
Because to be honest, with like my tongue doesn't work like it used to. Yeah. And so I have a slur that I didn't have before. Right. So you could see how that could be sounding like an accent if your tongue was broken a certain way. Right. Say, right. So that one's not such a stretch because you're, like you said, you're still speaking your language.
Yeah. It's not like you're learning a whole different language and
but like Australian, when they speak English, right? To Chinese, with an accent. The Chinese is not. They're not that similar. No. However, if you think about it, when you go to a Chinese restaurant and you read the menu,
that's it.
Sweet and sour chicken. It means sweet and sour chicken. So maybe Chinese isn't that far off.
So you're going to tell me this guy ate Chinese food all the time?
Maybe. That's what it is.
And he was reading off the menu of memory.
That's probably what it was. Yeah. It was all Chinese food.
Conspiracy solved.
And then we just think.
Conspiracy solved. That's it, guys.
And then we just think, well, maybe there's more to that. All right. So we have another story. Let's see if this one. Okay. Jason Padgett. I've never heard that name before. Became a math savant and could do complex fractions after being attacked. It doesn't say what kind of attack it was.
To the head?
I assume it had something to do with a brain injury.
Right.
Because it is in this episode. Right. Right. This is not a ghost episode. But. Okay, so here's another one. A 94-year-old woman woke up speaking only Swedish, but she had spoken Swedish before when she was younger.
So I mean, that kind of like is registered in the back of your head.
Opened it up a little bit, like you remembered something.
Like you pushed the cabinet and it opened back up.
Right. So I'm trying to think of like if I were to get a superpower, like
that one, the one with the math, complex math fractions.
Be worthless to me.
Honestly, yeah, same.
What would I do with it?
Exactly. You wake up from a brain injury. You're like, let me solve this math problem.
Yeah.
Let me start doing math.
I do math often. But I'm already kind of good at the math I do, so I don't know like how much more complicated I want my math to be, right?
I don't think you've tested it out, so that's why maybe you don't see it.
Maybe you haven't see your ability. Stumbled on it.
Yeah. That's what it is.
If I were, because being knocked out is, I mean, it's not as severe as me having cracks in my skull, right? But that's a brain injury of sorts, right? Because there's a range.
Yeah.
If you were to have a superpower due to a brain injury, what would you want your superpower to be?
I wish I could be invisible. Just disappear from class.
I feel like I'm already like that. I feel like I'm a little bit invisible. I'm going to tell you why.
Why? Okay.
People ignore me all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't get ignored.
That's true. So I think maybe that's my secret power.
You are invisible.
I'm invisible.
You can go under the radar.
I am a below the radar kind of guy. I'm trying to think of what I would want my superpower to be. I'm pretty sure it's Pokemon related because
100%.
I'm real into Pokemon. I feel like I'm pretty good with podcasting and social media.
But you've been doing it before. You've been doing it before the head injury.
Not opening up anything.
Yeah, you're not opening anything anymore.
Man. Maybe I can't think of what I would want to do. This is like, imagine if I had like a genie and he's like, you get 3 wishes, and I'm there like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. My life's not that bad. I don't know. Be a little bit taller, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to be that much taller because then I hit man. I'm already taller than everybody here. I would want to be better at video games in general. I wouldn't just limit it to Pokemon.
Okay.
I would want to remember things maybe better. An
insane memory.
Yeah. Like a photographic memory. I do have a pretty good memory, but it's gotten worse since the accident. So that's definitely not my superpower that I picked up. My memory's worse.
Well, also like, it's not all positive outcomes out of injuries. It's also like, down or
depressed.
Not so good outcomes.
There's an upside and there's a downside.
Yeah. I think you got most of the
I got a lot of downside. All right, so let's kind of pull this into like our podcast and what we talk about.
Yeah.
So instead of it being just a brain injury, which maybe I think we agree on this, that there are certain things that are kind of like keys into another something, right?
Yeah, because it's not fully explained.
Right.
There's like what mystery. Really goes through the brain. Like, we understand, well, okay, there's this thing of the brain that controls your whole body, your thinking process, your movements.
Yeah.
You learn your language. You learn. Right. You basically learn how to survive.
Yeah.
With this.
Right.
And with what you have. Right?
That's right.
But it's mostly your head, your mind, your brain.
Yeah.
To be specific. Because there's also this thing where it's like, isn't there like, whenever your brain is like dead, but your body's like surviving off a machine,
right? Yeah.
So it's like if they take off the machine, then that's it. Like you're dead,
right?
Right?
Yeah.
There's this. That's what's that called?
Being brain dead. Yeah.
Okay.
Being brain dead is a thing.
I wasn't thinking, but
yeah. No, I mean I'm glad we could. Clear
so that's
that
what.
up.
Oh, shit. So, without your brain, you're...
Well, and it goes the other way too, right? I mean, you can be your brain can work and your body can't.
Yeah.
It goes both ways, right?
Yeah,
so,
also true.
There's been people that are in a coma and they can't move their bodies, but their brains are going the whole time. And
it's still working.
And I know people told my family and people that came to visit me when I was unconscious, like, keep talking to him because he can hear you.
Do you remember?
I don't remember any of that. I don't remember any of that.
I bet your mom never shut up.
Maybe not. Knowing my mom, you're probably right. I don't know. I have a feeling my wife talked a lot too, but I don't.
Yeah, Angie, yeah,
I don't remember any of that. So long story short, doctors lie a lot.
The nurses are lying.
The nurses are lying. But so what we're talking.
But your mom's a nurse.
My mom was a nurse. That kind of messes things up, doesn't it? That messes us all up. All right. So what we were talking about, or what I was getting at, I guess, is there a way, seeing as how we don't understand the functionality of the brain, if these brain injuries are triggering something, maybe from a past life, maybe, and like this person that learned how to speak Chinese,
his ancestors
came
back.
Because this is a thing, and I've known a few people that are Chinese, right?
Yeah.
And if you were to be able to download everything I've ever heard in my whole life, I'm not able to get a fluent Chinese language out of that information in my brain. I haven't heard every word in Chinese. So how does it, this person just knew the whole language? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, even if you watch like series or like documentaries, I don't think you focus on the language, like the vocalizing of the words and all that. I think you just focus on the subtitles and the images.
But even if, so for example, to your point,
yeah,
like the original Jackie Chan movies, the original Bruce Lee movies, those were in Chinese, right? And in some of them, the voices were taken out and put new voices. But let's just say you're hearing Chinese and you're reading on the bottom.
You wouldn't explain.
But
it's not
you didn't learn the language.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes from movies to subtitles is not very accurate. Also. Subtitles will just adjust it to what it should sound like.
Right.
You know, like words in Spanish don't fully translate into like proper English, vice versa. Like,
right. And to bring this back to Pokemon, right? In the game is originally Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Which I am not saying that Chinese and Japanese are the same. Just to be clear, I'm not saying that.
Don't come after us, guys.
Right. There is in the Japanese version of the game,
okay,
a bunch of Pokemon that are considered evil types.
Okay.
Right? When you translate that to English, the word is not evil. It's dark.
Okay.
And so that's a difference. Like to us, evil means something.
Yeah.
And that word in Japanese means something slightly different. And then here, dark means something. But over there, it's like slightly different. You know what I mean? And so to your point, like things don't line up perfectly. You know, I've seen, I don't know if you've seen them, but all these TikToks of people translating Mexican or Spanish sayings into English and they don't sound right. Right? Like, toda madre, all your mother. That doesn't make any sense. Right? What do you mean all your mother? Puro pedo, right? Like, wait, what? Full fart.
Just
right?
fart.
All fart. Right? It doesn't make sense. You know, like, why are you saying that right now? And so I guess that I think it makes a little bit of sense that this could be a past life
type of thing.
Like you have access to it. And if you
they came and tap in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have a theory, right? Because I'm also a birder, right?
Right.
Interested in birds and all this. And right now we have migration season.
Okay.
And birds, somehow they just know where to go.
True.
Even though they've never been where they're going.
I think you said this before.
They know where they're going. And I believe, I have a theory, that our DNA and birds' DNA has all of our ancestors' knowledge written in our DNA that we just have. And I think certain humans can tap into those things.
I think we talked about this in another episode.
Or you were unconscious for a little bit.
Nah, what the fuck? Nah.
You were unconscious for a little bit, and maybe you have this superpower where you're like reading my mind.
No.
Right?
No, I think we were talking about like birth. We were talking about birthmarks. And then you have one in your back. Yeah. And you said that, sometimes it's like from past generations. No, from a past life. It wasn't past generation. I think it was from a past life. You were stabbed in the back, and now you have that fear of you can't give your back to anyone in public.
Which I do have.
Yeah. I think that's what we were talking about.
Or this is your superpower. Maybe. So anyway, I think there's another option as well, because we talk about, you and I talk about this a lot, is this matrix, right?
Honestly, yeah.
We talk about it a lot.
Because we have like this conspiracy theory that the accident actually like messed up our numerological numbers. Mm-hmm. Something in the matrix.
Close there. Yeah. I'm sure it's close to what you're trying to say.
Yeah, you're catching that.
It's in there. It's in there. Numbers related. Yeah.
So anyways. So it's like,
I think Bianca just doesn't want me to be an Aries anymore.
Yeah.
But.
No. So it's like, I think just something during that accident actually like, not that it clicked, but it's like, we view stuff more differently. For sure.
Yeah. We definitely see things differently. I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head. However, back to our theory of the matrix, we have to, if there is a matrix.
You think it opens like your third eye? Since your third eye is like on the head?
Maybe.
Or it closes it out?
I think it could work both ways. Sometimes the door opens, sometimes the door closes. But this is what I think. If we are in a matrix, and I think we both kind of lean that we are, right?
Yeah.
That there has to be some kind of vault or something with all of the information that is in this matrix, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like an encyclopedia, or let's just call it a universal consciousness, right? That if you throw a rock a certain way, it's going to do this thing if I throw it or if you throw it, right?
Let's say it's a computer.
Yeah.
And we just press the keyboard.
Yeah.
You just get this new link on the computer.
Right.
And you're reading through it. And that's it. That's your new personality.
So hear me out. We talk a lot about AI, right? And
oh shit.
And
okay.
I think we've been fairly open about our use of AI. We use AI quite a bit, right?
We started using ChatGPT, guys.
Yeah. So we're deep in the AI. Yeah. We use it a lot.
Yeah.
I was talking, because this is how I use it. we're going to take a little break here, because let's do it this way. Is it this one? No. So anyway, my point is, I use it a lot. And so since I'm working at the house, it talks to me and I can hear it, right? It's got a voice and I can hear it. And then I talk back to it to ask more questions and understand things differently, right? Or more or deeper, or let's do this, let's do that.
Right.
And so it's like an ongoing conversation with me throughout the day.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes she glitches. and her voice will be different.
What?
She'll be a different voice, or she starts talking about something. Who knows where she's getting this information? This is not our conversation. Like, she starts talking like, imagine me and you talking, and then all of a sudden, oh, and then I got a cheesecake. And like, what the fuck are you talking about? She does that. We're talking. And so right now I'm deep into social media. That's my job. And so.
Okay. Like, for example, let me ask you something and you're going to act like AI.
Okay.
With your house.
So let me start with what I do first, right? Okay, so I'm going to say, I'm doing the top 10 barbecue joints, my personal list, right? And so then I will tell her, give me an optimized list of the hashtags that should go on this episode. And so I will get my video and I will give it to her. And then she'll say, you need to put hashtag Texas barbecue. And she gives me all these things. And okay, so now my
pretty basics.
Yeah. And then I'll say, okay, so then my next video is about this place. What are some things I need to make sure that I bring up in the video? And she'll say, the weather in Chicago is, and it's like, what are you talking about? The weather, like, and it's a man's voice sometimes. And it's like, what is going on right now? Because we'll be talking and talking and talking the whole day.
And out of the blue.
And then out of the blue, it's just something else. And so it's like a glitch in the matrix. And so in our matrix that we're talking about with brain injury, maybe that little glitch is now, Mandarin. Or, maybe my superpower that I haven't even tested. Maybe I know karate.
No. What if the accident to a head injury is a fucking glitch in the matrix? And that's a fucking breaking code into getting something new or getting something taken away from you.
Maybe. What I'm hearing is you want to get in another accident tonight. Am I hearing this right?
Let's fuck around and find out.
Let's wreck our cars tonight.
Yours.
Oh, yeah. I barely got my phone holder the way I like it in my seat. So I'm reluctant. But
what if we take Angie's?
I'm down with that.
Yeah, I'm going to find that out.
The other option, another thing that we've been talking about off air, is what if your brain is really just an antenna that's receiving things? Because that would kind of explain a lot of things, wouldn't it? Like if you're talking to psychics, because you have psychic tendencies, right?
I tend to say stuff and it happens.
And so,
but it's more, I think it's more like I see it more as of a common sense. Like you see that coming.
Yeah. So I have that too, that part, but you're not that. I could see why you think that, but some weird stuff sometimes that.
What? Chismes? People tell me that shit all the time. It's not me like fucking reading people's minds. It's like people come up to me and tell me the shit. Like,
yeah. Like I said, I get why you think that. Yours is a little more than that. However. Either way, let's just use a different person so you don't have to get defensive.
No. Let's say from your point of view, let's see what's a psychic.
Another psychic. Somebody completely else, right? Somebody not...
You're not going to mention names.
Not names, right?
But it's similar to what I do.
Similar to Bianca. But it's not. It's not Bianca. It's Bianco, right? It's Bianco. Completely different person.
Right.
And they are psychic.
Last name unknown.
Unknown name, right? Relationship status unknown. Job status unknown. Maybe they're in school, maybe they're not. I'm not willing to disclose right now. Maybe they have a hit podcast, maybe they don't. I'm not going to bring that up.
Okay.
But this particular psychic, which is not you, I believe that there is a possibility. Man, I'm really like tiptoeing this line, right?
Okay.
There's a possibility that there is a way that they are just receiving information from the universe. That's not common sense, let's say, right? Something more than that. And so there's other types of psychic abilities and other things where your brain can just be this receiver that most people, you were talking about the third eye earlier.
Yeah.
There's some people that it doesn't work. Their third eye is blind. They got poked in the third eye and it just never recovered. Right?
Right.
But then there's other people that they see things, right? I'm not going to say names.
Right.
Right? I'm not going to say anybody's name.
Okay.
But, right?
Right.
Maybe the brain injury puts a little crack in that shell in your skull. Like I have all these cracks now.
Right.
And these radio waves get in now and you can receive information. Long story short, I think I might know karate now. I need to double check. I'm going to go downtown and get in a fight for no reason just to see if I know karate. Because maybe I do. I don't know.
Maybe do, maybe don't.
Maybe
but
I do. I think it's interesting.
Let's keep you on this journey of finding out if you actually have a new ability.
Yeah.
Or if you're tapped into your past.
Right.
One of your
history,
files. Yeah.
One of my old lives. Maybe.
Gotta look into that.
So I think we should open this up to our followers. If you have a superpower.
If you had a head injury.
With the head injury.
What was your superpower after?
We need to start another podcast. The head injury files. Because that's something we know about, right?
956 superheroes.
956 brain injuries. If you had a brain injury and you developed
an ability.
Anything. It doesn't even have to be good, right? It's like
any ability.
It's like I could tell what day the meat's gonna rot. Okay, that's a good one. That's useful. That's useful. I could tell how much salt is too much salt. That's a good ability. I would use that.
What if did your taste bud change afterwards? So you know? Do you feel it?
Do you taste
it?
I don't taste it. I will say that. I mean, I eat for a living, so I have pretty good taste buds. I have noticed that there is no limit to the amount of heat that I can handle. I am eating.
Isn't that like a sensory type of thing?
Yeah, I am eating the hottest, like the hot ones.
Because I know you don't eat spicy.
I don't eat spicy.
But you handle the hot.
I can handle all of the hottest hot sauces. I have all the hot ones hot sauces, and I can just drink them like that.
I think that's your ability.
That might be it. That might be it.
That's it.
That's got to be it.
Case closed, guys.
So that's it for this week. We will talk to you next week. Follow us on all of our socials and DM us if you have a story. We will talk to you next week.
Bye, guys.